Are Murder Victims Ghosts by Cherokee Billie? The answer is sometimes. Murders that go unsolved often leave the victim, ghost, with the desire for the truth to come out. They want closure for their family and friends. They want to move on into the spirit realm, but feel they cannot until their murderer has been identified and received karmic or judicial punishment. When a murderer has been caught immediately, it allows the spirit of the victim to be released and ascend into the spirit world. This is the big difference between solved and unsolved murders. As a psychic medium, I have been communicating with the deceased for many years. Most of the people who contact me just want to know how their loved one is and if they have any messages for them. Over the years, I have had several individuals contact me who wanted to know how their loved one died and who did it. This is not always an easy task. Sometimes the murdered spirit comes quickly and communicates a great deal of information. Other times the spirit cannot tell what happened because it happened quickly or the memory of the event has left them. Many things get tangled for spirits because they are living between two different dimensions. A part of their spirit is still connected to our world, and another part is connected to the spirit world. Perhaps you have seen movies where the spirit cannot understand that they are dead, or that they are waiting to identify the killer. So much of these movies are really based on spiritual truth. We do not get instant knowledge when we pass into the spirit world. There are also ghost hunter television programs where they offer information about victims in haunted houses and historical places. Many spirits remain on battlefields, still fighting the other spirits. 1 year ago I was contacted by a lady whose son was 31 years old and ruled a suicide by the police. She could not accept this because he was a happy, content man, and she had just seen him that day and he was fine. She asked me if I could channel his spirit so she could ask questions about that day. After a few minutes I was able to connect with his spirit, and he told her that he did not kill himself and gave identification about who had killed him. He was not able to answer every question that she asked, but apparently it was sufficient information for her. She took the information I got and contacted a private detective who started investigating all of the police findings. It turned out that many of the things that I had received in the trance medium state had been accurate. How I know is a year later she contacted me again and told me about the help the messages had been for her about his murder. She wanted me to ask her departed son more questions, and I asked if she could send me any and all photographs of the crime scene. She did. I told her that I wanted a few days to study these pictures and see what messages came through. As soon as I got the pictures, I telephoned her and said, "Isn't it interesting to see where the bullet hole went in?" She said, "What are you talking about?" I told her it was quite obvious that it was a bullet hole and gunpowder around the hole in the photograph. Once I pointed it out to her, she was shocked that all of the police and detective people never noticed this. She had not either. "I cannot enlarge this picture. Is it possible you could send it again or have someone else send it to me?" She had her grandson send the pictures to me again. One picture was particularly unusual because it was where her son was murdered, and it was not a pleasant picture because it had blood and brain tissue all over the wheel of his truck. What confused me was of all the pictures, there was one where a man was standing at the base of this wheel. It was impossible for anyone to stand in this position. I began to dream about these pictures over the next week. At last we had our channeled session together. My first question to her was about the picture of the man at the wheelbase. She said, "There is no picture with a man in front of the tire wheel. What are you talking about?" We were both on the internet together, and I said, "Let me send this picture to you so you can see what I'm talking about." I sent the picture to her, and she said, "I don't see anybody in this picture. I only see the wheel." Dumbfounded, because I could clearly see a man right next to this wheel, which I knew would be impossible for anyone to be standing by, I decided to try a different way to send the picture. Once again I sent the picture. "Cherokee Billie, I don't see anything here other than the wheel," she stated. "Let me describe this man to you," I told her. "He has on a black t-shirt and has short, straight, reddish-brown hair, and I can only see a quarter of his face and body." "Oh my God, that's exactly how my son looked." I could tell that she was crying at this point. "Why can't I see him and you can?" "I believe he is indicating what I have always said, that this is where the gunshot went into the wheel. He seems to be acknowledging that to me as I speak. There is no way someone could be in this physical position at the bottom of a tire wheel. Again, he wants you to know he did not kill himself. I wish you could be here in front of my monitor and see what I'm seeing." "I wish I was there too," she said. She then went on about the rest of the photographs that were taken at the scene of the crime and asked about different people in the photographs. Her son communicated that the two killers were there in the photograph and which ones they were. I had received information in our last channel session that he was killed because of a connection on the internet. He had videotaped his monitor of what he was seeing just before he was killed. I have requested that she send this videotape to me because it's possible that I will see or hear something that she cannot. I know that the answers I have given her have helped not only her have connection with her son, but it has helped the investigation. This is one of the most fascinating channelings I have ever done. I have received information from murder victims before, and it has helped their family, but this one keeps getting a wider scope and seems to be more complicated than the others, which were usually murders over jealousy or random acts of violence. So you can see from these sessions, murder victims can often communicate about what happened as best they can. They want to do this so that their spirit can transcend completely into the spirit world. There are some exceptions where the spirits want to stay because they cannot accept their death. These are the ones that need to be helped pass into spirit and not stay trapped. There are ways to do this, as I have learned over the years. If you ever encounter a ghost, realize they might have something to say, and if you listen, you may be able to help. Not all ghosts are violent, and often they are just looking for someone to acknowledge them. Just because they have died does not mean that they have completed what they needed to do or say before going into the light. You may be the one that helps them transcend completely into the light. Great men are they who see that the spiritual is stronger than any material force. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you for listening. This is Cherokee Billie.